भाई दुकान के फोन में माइक चालू कर दे। माइक चालू। हेलो हेलो। आवाज आ रही है भाई? वो स्क्रीन पे से मेरा आवाज बंद है। हेलो। हेलो।
Giants and wall breakers. Great. We've got more troops coming. Get ready.
I was born ready.
hog riders. I think he's got this. That's a dragon. At least we didn't get 3-starred.
क्या है? नहीं, अभी अपन ने 102 देखा ना भाई, उससे ज्यादा देखेंगे ना 146 मिलियन से। आवाज आ रहा है क्या लाइव स्ट्रीम पे? हाँ, लाइसेंस आ गया भाई। अनवर्ल्ड कनेक्शन, हर्शीज डायनेस्टी। कभी क्या ये वीडियो भाई, डायनेस्टी वायनेस्टी लिखा है तो। यही है टाइम स्क्वायर। आ गया ना टाइम स्क्वायर? तो भाई लोग टाइम स्क्वायर भी आ गया हूँ मैं। बस हो गया, बदल देता हूँ मैं भी क्योंकि बोर हो रहा है इसमें मेरे को। अपन कुछ और देखेंगे इंटरेस्टिंग। और भाई माइक थोड़ा कम कर दे, मतलब स्पीकर स्पीकर का वॉल्यूम कम कर दे। मोस्ट व्यूड वीडियोस देखते।
Ay.
Fonzie! DY!
Oh, oh no, oh no. Oh, hey.
Go!
Sí, sabes que ya llevo un rato mirándote. Tengo que bailar contigo hoy.
DY! Vi que tu mirada ya estaba llamándome. Muéstrame el camino que yo voy.
Oh, tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando y voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso.
Oh yeah, ya me está gustando más de lo normal. Todos mis sentidos van pidiendo más. Esto hay que tomarlo sin ningún apuro.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firma las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
Sube, 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 sube.
Quiero ver bailar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Favorito, favorito, baby.
Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro.
Llevo tiempo intentándolo, mami, esto está mirándolo. Sabe que tu corazón conmigo te hace bam bam. Sabe que esa beba está buscando de mi bam bam. Me pruebas de mi boca para ver cómo te sabe. Quiero ver cuánto amor a ti te cabe. Yo no tengo prisa, yo me quiero dar el viaje. Empezamos lento, después salvaje. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Cuando tú me besas con esa destreza, veo que eres malicia con delicadeza. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Y es que esa belleza es un rompecabezas, pero para montarlo aquí tengo la pieza.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firma las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
Sube, sube.
Quiero ver bailar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Favorito, favorito, baby.
Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro, hasta provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido. Despacito, vamos a hacerlo en una playa en Puerto Rico, hasta que las olas griten ay bendito, para que mi sello se quede contigo.
Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito.
Enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Favorito, favorito. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a
Hasta
poquito.
provocar tus gritos.
ऐसा क्यों हो जा रहे? तो भाई लोग जा रहा हूँ मैं भी, पूछ जाऊंगा जाके मैं। ठीक है। वैसे डर तो बहुत लगता है अपनी बाइक से। भाई कितने छोटे प्लेन में लेके जा रहे हैं, ये प्लेन ही स्काई डाइविंग करने वाले क्या? पसीने छूट गए भाई, पसीने। क्या क्या? ये
Hello?
हेलो
Hello?
हेलो।
Oh,
ओ,
hey. You're probably wondering what you're doing at this incredibly random house. We have a situation here right now. About 2 months ago, we started working on an amazing costume for Five Nights at Freddy's. So what happened is about a week ago, it disappeared. So I need your help. We've placed these 360 VR cameras all around the house. So very important, you can use your WASD keys in order to move around there. Okay, good. So now that you guys know how to move around the house, I'm going to show you some footage that we recorded last night. Let's see if you can make it to the end of this video without clicking it off. This is the Black Box TV Five Nights at Freddy's Challenge. Let's see how far you can make it.
आवाज है क्या? एक मिनट। कांच कितने हैं इसके घर में? अबे कौन बोला? ये कौन है दोनों? कांच लगा लगा के डबल कर दिया। क्या था ये? अबे अबे यार
Hey, you're here. Congratulations. I'm surprised, but proud of you at the same time. Next time it won't be so easy. In fact, film your friends, film anybody you know doing this challenge, and let's see if we can get some good reaction videos. I'll post the best one to Black Box TV.
ये लगाऊं
Hey, go for Spidey. Spidey, yeah. Hey, go for Peter.
That's a weird answer, dude. Where are you? Please tell me you're swinging at this exact moment.
Kind of.
If I were you, I'd never take that suit off. Not even in the shower.
Ned, gross.
ये तज़ीन ये लगाओ क्या
Dude, we have to wrap up the list before we go.
ये क्या
Right now,
किसी
you're only
चीज
floating a few feet above the ground, just over 800 feet above sea level. But you're about to go much higher, on a journey to the edge of space. As far as the Seeker team knows, this is the first time something like this has ever been done before in VR. Thanks to the weather balloon above you, you'll soon reach speeds of over 65 miles an hour as you travel out of the troposphere and into the stratosphere. And you may notice this line going around. Well, that's because you're spinning fast too. But we stabilized the footage the best we could to make your ride a calm one. Now get ready, don't forget to look around, and enjoy your journey to the edge of space.
मेरा अभी से पैर दुखने लगे भाई 13 माइल्स
The
पर आवर
trip
की
has just
स्पीड
begun, but you've already flown past the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. But the Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia, which is already under construction, is set to overtake it, reaching just over 3,200 feet. If you've ever skydived before, this is about the altitude at which you probably would have jumped out of the airplane. Now might be a good time to look down. If you listen closely, you can hear the precipitation inside this cloud. And if you look up, you can see it falling down around you. At this altitude, the temperature is so cold that what you're actually seeing is sleet and snow. We're coming up to the height of Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. Its peak is about 2,700 feet above what mountaineers call the dead zone, where oxygen is too scarce to breathe. And just a short distance above Everest Peak is the cruising altitude of commercial flights. Look around to see an angle of the world you wouldn't normally see sitting in an airplane. It may not feel like it, but you're traveling at over 65 miles an hour, ascending at more than 1,000 feet per minute. This might be because we hit the jet stream, a current of fast-moving air cutting through our atmosphere.
-25
Right
डिग्री
now,
हो
the
गया।
air pressure is about 90% lower than it is back on the ground, close to the atmospheric pressure in space. Under these conditions, your body would not be able to survive without a spacesuit.
आगे हो गया मैं 91,000 feet, bro.
This is about the altitude where our cameras died. However, the balloon didn't. It kept traveling to a height of over 114,000 feet, where, because of the drop in air pressure, the helium inside expanded so much that the balloon burst. The cameras and equipment fell back down to Earth where our Seeker team tracked and found it. Everything still intact, and just a few miles from where we launched. We had a plan to go to the stratosphere, to bring seekers like you to a place that you wouldn't otherwise be able to go, to experience the world from a new angle, to take you to the edges of the Earth.
ट्रू स्टोरी बोलना जरूरी था क्या? On a turning chair.
Hi, I'm James Wan. Welcome to the Conjuring 2 virtual reality experience. I hope you enjoy.
क्यों ऐसा क्यों?
I come here to see my family. They're not here now.
अबे
This is my house.
तो
My house!
अभी तू उसमें क्या कर रहा है भाई? अरे ये किधर? अबे क्या है ये? मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ पीछे, भाग। मैं उल्टा जाएगा, जा। अरे यार, फिर ये लोग जमा हो गए सब लोग। मैं जब उधर रहता तो पीछे से क्यों ठोकते हो भाई तुम लोग? आदमी था ना वो तो।
Come in. Hello? Is anyone there? Can you read me? Ah, there you are. Beautiful, isn't she? The Milky Way galaxy. And to think, each one of those 100 billion stars has its own planets, its own strange worlds. Imagine what it would be like to visit some of those exoplanets beyond our own little solar system. Well, today, you don't have to imagine, because I'm going to take you on a tour of 6 real exoplanets. What you're about to see is based on the latest scientific research, and as we travel across the cosmos, we'll hear astrophysicists from the University of Exeter tell us about their search for planets beyond our solar system. So, if you want to experience what it might be like to stand on another planet, I highly recommend strapping on a VR headset and a pair of headphones to feel truly immersed. Feel free to pause the video here whilst you get what you need to start your journey. Okay, are you ready? Let's go.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm studying observations of debris disks and trying to find debris disks in giant planets. So the planets will form over maybe 4 or 5 million years as the star forms. So the star forms out of a massive cloud of dust and gas, and that collapses down, and the centre of that will fall inwards and become a star. But then there'll be a whole cloud of dust and gas and stuff left, and that kind of collapses down into a disk that's just made out of kind of the leftovers from the star formation. And then that disk, the individual bits of dust will collide to each other, and they can sometimes stick together. We don't really understand that yet. Sometimes they stick and sometimes they bounce off, and no one really knows how they can stick together enough to start to form a planet. But then as soon as you have a big core, we call it a planetesimal, so it's maybe 10 kilometers across. That's big enough that its gravity starts to scoop up all of the rest of the nearby stuff, and then it kind of slowly picks up more and more bits of dust and gas, and they fall down onto the surface, and eventually it grows into something like Jupiter, or even bigger than Jupiter.
So I'm Professor David Singh, and I study transiting exoplanets and their atmospheres. Well, hot Jupiters are gas giant exoplanets, but they orbit much, much closer to its star than Jupiter does to our own sun. In fact, they orbit so close that the day side of the planets are heated up to thousands of degrees Kelvin. And because they're so hot, a lot of the atmosphere around the planet actually evaporates off, sort of like when a comet gets too close to the sun, you see a lot of evaporation of the comet happen. A similar process happens for these planets. They orbit so close, a lot of the atmosphere is being blown off. Because these planets are so close, we expect them to be tidally locked, which means the same part of the planet will always face the sun. And what that does is set up a very large day-night contrast in temperature. It's very hot on the day side, and it will be quite a bit colder on the night side. And this will in turn create large-scale weather patterns around the planet. This planet is so close that the tidal gravity is starting to distort the planet itself. If this particular planet was any closer, it could actually break apart.
But what might it look like inside the atmosphere of one of these extreme gas giant exoplanets? Let's find out.
studies clouds on extrasolar planets. So what we're looking at is planet Osiris, otherwise known as HD 209458b, and these are extremely strong winds. Going from the west to the east of the planet, from the day to the night side, the wind speeds are reaching about 5 kilometers per second, which is about 10 times faster than Concorde. Osiris has a temperature of around 1,000 degrees centigrade. With these temperature ranges, we're not really looking at water clouds like we have here on Earth. But at these much higher temperatures, we have the sort of evaporation and condensation cycle of things like iron and silicates. So these planets might actually have molten iron rain and silica or glass rain, which is incredible because with these wind speeds of 5 kilometers per second, you're effectively going to be lacerated by this glass rain and molten iron. So these aren't particularly great places to visit.
My name is Nathan Main, and I study the atmospheres of planets we've discovered around distant stars. Our next destination is the surface of a water world. This is a super Earth, as it's called. In our own solar system, we have no planets which exist in the size range between Earth and Neptune. But actually, as we observe off into the galaxy, we find this is one of the most common form of planets. We think that many of these have kind of rocky cores. They're terrestrial planets essentially, but they're likely to have a huge ocean. Now they're super Earths. They're much larger than Earth. They might have much stronger gravity, and they probably have much thicker atmospheres. That means any land features that are on these planets, any rocky features, are going to be weathered and suppressed and effectively destroyed. You can see the surface is being distorted by huge waves. There's many reasons that could cause these waves. You have an ocean which is not interrupted by land masses. So many of these planets we expect could have moons or multiple moons even, which create the same tidal effects that our own moon causes in our oceans on Earth. Additionally, actually, many of these objects might be undergoing significant tectonic activity beneath the surface of the ocean. And these waves have no land mass to crash into, so they really can build to quite substantial sizes.
ये कितना ऊपर ऊपर जा रहे हैं मेरे को वेव्स दिखा रहे हैं ये लोग.
Our next destination is the surface of 55 Cancri E. This planet orbits so close to its central star, it's incredibly hot. We think temperatures of a few thousand Kelvin or a few thousand degrees. We know from how much this planet wobbles its star due to its gravitational attraction that this planet is about 8 times the mass of the Earth. And we also know from its sort of transit, when it eclipses the central star, that it's probably about twice the diameter of Earth. So this planet is incredibly hot and has a very strong gravitational field. So what you can see is a molten lava field underneath you, where the surface is being disrupted and melted, and much of that material could potentially be lofted into the atmosphere. And what you end up with is a very soot-laden atmosphere full of particulate matter, molten rock and condensing rock and raining sort of silicate particles. And you're going to have huge amounts of charged material flowing in the atmosphere, and that will lead us to have significant thunderstorms. So effectively, this is a pretty nasty place, probably as close to Dante's Inferno as you can imagine, with a molten lava surface, raining rock, and constant planet-wide lightning storms.
ये मार्स.
My name is Jessica Spake, and I'm interested in studying
वो देख
exoplanet
उसका
atmospheres.
सन ये हो गया.
TRAPPIST-1e is a fascinating system. It was a wonderful surprise to find 7 fairly Earth-sized planets so closely spaced together around this tiny star. The star is actually about the size of Jupiter. It's really like a solar system in miniature. So here you can see the stars look cooler, redder and smaller, and you can see it actually looks very big in the sky here. That's not because the star is bigger, that's because the planet is a lot closer to that star than we are to the sun. So these planets can be very close in and still be kind of about the same temperature as Earth.
We have discovered over 3,000 exoplanets, but we've only searched less than 1/1,000,000% of our galaxy. There are billions more worlds out there for us to find in the Milky Way, and billions more galaxies beyond our own. Each new planet we discover changes how we view the universe and our place within it. But so far, we've only found one, planet Earth. Thank you to everyone who helped to make.
And to bring you this story, we interrupt our program.
An American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima.
The White House has just made an important announcement on the war.
Buzzing with the news of the atomic bomb.
He knew the world would not be the same. We have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction.
Aren't sure yet what hit the place.
On August 6, 1945, at 8:15 in the morning, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. As modeled here, the atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, was the first nuclear weapon dropped on humans. It was an attack during World War II, and there was no warning given. Carried by a B-29 warplane, the bomb was dropped from about 31,000 feet and fell for 43 seconds. It exploded about 1,900 feet off the ground. Inside the bomb, a controlled explosion created with high explosives propelled a subcritical mass of uranium-235 down a long tube, similar to the barrel of a gun, where it collided with a second subcritical mass of uranium-235. The collision triggered a nuclear fission chain reaction, which detonated the bomb. It detonated with the same force as 15,000 tons of TNT, forming a mushroom cloud about 60,000 feet tall and releasing radiation into the air. The explosion resulted in a flash of blinding light, followed by intense heat, killing an estimated 80,000 people instantly and destroying nearly every building within 1 mile of the epicenter. Fires caused by the explosion's intense heat lasted for days, destroying more than a 4 square mile area from the epicenter. Over 50% of the people that were killed died of burns. Many of those that weren't killed by the flash burn, blast, or fire died of radiation poisoning. Others were trapped in rubble, and thousands were injured. The health effects, including cancer and birth defects, have been felt for generations. Three days later, another atomic bomb, made with plutonium, was dropped on Nagasaki, killing at least 74,000 people. A nuclear weapon has not been used on a civilian target since.
The Japanese have seen what our atomic bomb can do.
It's almost beyond the comprehension of mere human.
I realize the tragic significance of the atomic bomb.
And even now, after hearing many times the description of this new weapon, its capabilities continue to tempt human imagination.
And as India battles to contain the coronavirus spread, 24-hour Bengal has reported its first confirmed case.
Meanwhile, West Bengal has reported the highest spike in
With travel history to London, tested positive for COVID-19 in a Kolkata hospital.
बंद कर दे भाई.